that every so often I end up here. I am in a place where I don't feel like getting out of bed. I feel like I complain for no good reason. And whenever I try to think of semi-good ideas, I think all of them suck. See, by definition, a rut is a habit or pattern of behaviors that are dull and unproductive, but it's really hard to change. Although in the moment, I always feel like this is the end of the world and I'm gonna literally never think of any good ideas, time always passes and I always get out of a rut. So today I want to teach you guys what I do when I'm in those dull moments and how you can break an unproductive cycle. Cue the aesthetic vibes.
Because to you, it never break the fall.
So I was reading a book called The Courage to be Disliked, and it's this philosophy book that basically says all problems are interrelational problems. Wait, what? Oh, interrelational, frick. All problems are interrelational problems. And what that basically means is anything that you go through in life is typically about being afraid of what another person thinks about you. It sounds crazy at first, I know. But the more I think about it, it's actually pretty true. Obviously, if you had a fight with your parents, you probably had an interpersonal relationship problem because it's between two people. However, if you're stressed about your presentation, that is still an interpersonal relationship problem because technically you're afraid that you're not going to do well in the presentation and people will laugh about you. So even if it's about inanimate objects or monetary items, at the end of it, it boils down to what do people think about you. So what I want you guys to do if you're trying to get out of a rut is ask yourself, what do you think is causing the rut? And who are you afraid of? Because again, every problem is an interpersonal problem, according to this book. So for example, I took some time and grabbed my journal and asked myself, what am I running away from or who am I scared of? And it came down to this. I found out, guys, that personally in my life, because I am an entrepreneur and I have a business, I feel like I put a lot of comparison on me versus other entrepreneurs, and I get really impatient with my progress. See, I realize a rut is really a negative critical voice that keeps yelling in your head, and to get out of it, we have to pinpoint why is your mind keep saying these thoughts. So with that being said, I think for me, if I'm comparing myself, maybe deep down, I have a comparison tool with my parents. Maybe I feel like I want to make them proud. Or maybe back when I was a little girl in school, maybe I was trying to impress people in my classmates. So if you're in a rut, make sure you guys ask yourself, what do you think is causing it? And then who does this voice sound like? I had a conversation with a friend recently and he was having issues producing his music and releasing it. And I asked him why. He basically said he didn't want it to fail and no one will listen to his music. But in reality, he had an audience and I thought it was great. What came down to it is there was a critical voice in his head, and like any human on this earth, it's typically going to sound like someone who's told you something, or maybe your parents were critical in the past, but always pinpointing who that voice sounds like, or if those aren't even your own thoughts, is super important. Because the next step is to separate your thoughts. The solution to getting out of a rut is actually super simple. Just separate your voice versus other people's voices. I know it's super difficult to separate those thoughts, but remember that those are not my ideas. It's someone else emplacing these thoughts, and I know I can do it. Some people might not believe in me, but I know I can. And separating those two voices will really help kind of pinpoint where your rut is starting from at the first place. So now we're talking about how to get out of a rut, how to feel better really quickly. That whole exercise will just literally take 10 minutes of journaling and you'll be feeling so much better. But you don't want to stop there. Once you pinpoint your rut and you kind of feel like you're getting out of it, it's super important to keep that motivation and energy by making yourself get back your confidence. So the first thing I do is I wash my clothes. I know that's super weird, but there's something about like fresh linen sheets and a brand new outfit that makes you feel like a bad bitch. Or if you're a dude, make you feel like a bad e-boy. I also like getting ready. It's literally like 4 p.m. right now and I did my hair and makeup. I was feeling so depressed this morning, but I got ready for no reason and I feel better. Just the detail of adding makeup or doing your hair feels so nice because it makes you remember that you are in control of the way you take care of yourself. You might not be able to control what Sally thinks, but you can make yourself look and feel good. After that, I think it's time to do something crazy and fun. when you're in a rut, it's so important to treat yourself well. And I think tonight I was gonna go out with some friends, but I don't have friends. I'm just gonna take myself out and go on a date with myself. Let's actually go do that right now.
For every angle that I tried, still I jumped through.
Guys, I just got this ice cream from Long Beach Creamery. It looks really freaking good. So good. Really good news, guys. I don't know if you guys care about my personal life, but my mom was diagnosed with a really rare disease, and I was really nervous because it was a skin disease, and I thought it was going to be a cancerous issue, and it was just really alarming. We left this news like a month ago, and then my mom just called me today and said that she's went to the doctor, and the doctor said she's completely okay. She's under medication now, and everything will be all right. I just feel so relieved and thankful for my family, this ice cream, and during a rut, there's just something that has to be said about the simple things in life. Like, you don't need a lot of things. You just need the right people, the right mindset.